The old world was rigged, designed to rip us apart. That was the world of the dead.
I know what it means to go back to Manhattan. It's cost me a lot. Almost everything.
You wanted Negan dead once. Now you want to save his life.
It's different now.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
What is up, people? What is going on? Welcome back to another episode, season 2, episode 4, Dead City. It's Biggerford and Brian in the house. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Hey, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We go live on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays, talking about all the nerd stuff you could think about, all the good TV shows and movies. We always review them, even if they're not good.
Absolutely. You know what's funny? Because last night we were going to do this, right? And I messaged Brian. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to skip it tonight. We'll do it tomorrow. He was like, okay, because I'm exhausted. I may not even be on Spoiler Kings. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
You saw we started late yesterday, and that was because I wasn't on. And then Ted was like, look, I'm not feeling good, and I can't depend on everybody, so I need you there. I was like, right. So I could do the Saturday shows. I promise you I could. I was like,
rain, sleet, and snow. You better believe Brian's gonna be on YouTube doing something with somebody, brother. It's all good. It's all good. You're gonna hit the mark. You're gonna hit that mark that me and Danny hit, where it was like, you know what? Nah, I can't do this every day, bro.
Dude, I got so many other things going on. It is nuts. I'm like, how am I about to do this?
I can imagine. And then the weather's getting nicer and stuff. Yep. So, you know, kids, family time. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I got a water park 3 blocks away from me, like that this neighborhood could go to.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's going to be where I live. That's the only reason I even work out in the off season. That's the reason. I take my shirt off and deal with that crap.
Well, guys, we are here to talk about Dead City. And I want to know what you thought. Huh?
Used to be called Dead City. Fuck Herschel.
Facts. Facts. I'm curious to know what were your thoughts on this episode.
It was really interesting seeing everyone work. And even the thing I want to start off with is Negan, and his conversation with Maggie was really intriguing because he said, like, I could barely help myself. Facts. But he's obviously just a very good guy, good at thinking clearly, quickly, making plans and making sure it works out quickly. And I thought that was just really intriguing. That entire conversation had more conversation and more feeling than the entire rest of the episode, just because these are characters we've known, we've seen grow. I mean, Maggie talked about herself, how much she's grown, but she's still always afraid.
Absolutely.
And then Negan talks about his family, and she understood immediately. And you know who called that? You did.
Yeah, 100%. I did. But you know what? The fucked up thing is, because Negan said, "Oh, Maggie, you're back." And she was like, "Not for you." I was like, "Oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch." You know what I mean?
How can you be mad at her? I mean, you did still kill her husband.
Yeah, true. But then Negan says, and I'll play it too, because this was one of like my favorite parts of the show, to be honest with you. So let's get into it. We're gonna play it first. I'm like, woman.
No, the reason why she's saying that because she knows the truth.
I know, yeah, I know she does. I know she does, and she doesn't want to put it out there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm like, don't yell at him like you don't know. You know what I mean?
No,
She
but
could have
that's a
handled
mother.
it.
She's going to fight for her child.
Yeah,
You see
fuck
mother,
that.
well, kids, people on death row, and their mother will fight tooth and nail to the
Yeah,
end for them. So I mean, I knew that, but at least the way you hear her act, you know that she knows, and you know that she doesn't want to admit it to herself.
that's the thing. She doesn't want to admit it to herself, right? And I'm just like, okay, so you've seen what happened. You know what? I get it. You want to defend him, but at the same time, you got to understand that Negan is doing the exact same thing that you're doing, trying to protect your family, right? Because all she wants to do is go back with Herschel and live her life. That's what Negan wants. You
Here's
know what I
something really
mean?
interesting because Maggie hasn't killed anyone from Negan. She hasn't killed anyone from his family members.
Yeah, I know.
So that's the difference. But I wouldn't be surprised if that changes going forward.
Where
Accident.
she, ooh, because
And now that gives you more seasons.
yeah, but to be honest with you, the last couple of seasons of Walking Dead, she actually met Negan's wife and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they went through some shit. So I don't know if
Not
Maggie's the
that
type of
she
person
did
that,
anything, no, but she probably because of Herschel, she's gonna do something that helps Herschel that gets some maybe Annie screwed.
interesting.
And then the Dama
Interesting.
kills her because of it.
Interesting.
And then Negan looks at her and is like, you killed her. Because if you would do what I told you from the beginning, we've all been able to walk away.
We'll get past that part because there's another. So I to me, I said that was stupid Maggie
And then
number one.
looking at the Dama
Yeah,
is so stupid.
and then this. Hold on, if I think here it is. Yeah, stupid part number two. What are you doing?
I just don't understand. Like to be a likable, supposed to be the likable character. You're probably the dumbest character of the show. Like it's well, besides
the Dharma looks right at her. She looks at the Dharma. So now the Dharma already knew that they were there because she meets up with Herschel, right? But Maggie doesn't know this. So Maggie's supposed to be a little bit more incognito. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it. If you want to see what's going on, fine. But you're not just supposed to sit out there and peeping your head out and looking.
Negan's doing all the hard work, running in with zombies and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's still gonna get caught. Like, what the hell? Why is he risking his life?
Yeah. And I know the reason why she did it is because it's like, oh wait, this is the picture that Herschel drew. So now you know Herschel lying to you about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if Maggie is smart. And I agree with you because she's protecting her. But if she's even smarter, she'll use that to her advantage, right? Oh, I know what Herschel is doing now. I can use this. You know what I mean? We can tell Herschel some fake information because if he ever goes back to her now, he's going to give her that fake information, right? So I think that
you're saying, because you're seeing that, and that's very interesting. But now I'm thinking about the Croat. What the Dama said about him. He gets emotional. He makes these decisions that, because he's so upset, he does these things, and that puts everyone in a bad position. And I believe though she was saying it about him, she was also saying the same type of thing about Maggie.
Could be.
Very much so. Like, she doesn't know it, but like as a viewer, we're looking at it, and it's the same type of thing. Because she's emotional, she makes bad decisions. And because she makes those bad decisions, she can never be up top. Someone else is always going to have the upper hand on her.
I feel you.
Emotional.
The only thing I would say to that is so far, the ones making the bad decisions are the Babylon people because she's been trying to stop them and do certain things, right? Now, when you're talking about bad decisions, those bad decisions are with Herschel. I agree with that. So she's going to make a lot.
Lead. She never could be up top the leader because of the decisions that she makes.
Right, because of Herschel, right? Because she's always going to make, she's always going to make the wrong decisions with Herschel like she's doing now.
And that's the same thing with the Croat. Crop makes a lot of great decisions. He does a lot of good things. But when you get him emotional, he makes bad decisions.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? And again, that's why I say, I get it. She's protecting her mom, but at the same time, I would have just like, you know, when you get caught in the corner, you're just like, "Oh, fuck you." You know what I mean? That's what she should. She just said, "Oh, fuck you," and walked away. You know what I mean? Then that would have at least given him some. But I think Negan's smart enough to know
He knows
that that Maggie's gonna figure it out. You know, Maggie's gonna figure it out, definitely. But man, I think for me, and I don't know about you, but that conversation with Maggie and Negan was like one of the points for me that I really enjoyed, because now you're not questioning whether, oh, is Negan really starting to feel like how old Negan was again? Like, is he really starting to enjoy that? No, that's not what he's doing. Like, he's not feeling that at all. And you could see a lot of the times where he's getting out the car and he looks like he's beaten, you know what I mean? Or like he's always not really beaten, because he's not beaten yet, but he's always trying to think one step ahead of everybody, you know? So,
but no, I think he's kind of beaten down. He doesn't want to live this life anymore. He would love to be able to just go off into the sunset. And you know, I think what's going to happen with him is that he's going to win, and everyone's going to want to follow him. And he wants to just leave. He just wants to leave. He's like, I want to take my family and go. And everyone's like, you can't.
I agree, because I know we talk about the different groups, right? And I think it's a possibility that when he gets all the groups come together, he's going to be the one they're going to follow. They're not going to want to follow the Croat. They're not going to want to follow the Dharma, right? They know that Negan is the muscle, so he's the one that they're going to want to follow.
He's going to do something really, really smart that's going to bring everyone together. Everyone's going to be fighting against each other, still doing stupid stuff. We already know what's going to happen next week with the Bruegel. He's going to do all type of stupid stuff, and all that's going to happen. But I think the Bruegel could be killed next episode 5. I think he could die.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to last too much longer, too.
But then that allows someone else who's going to take over, right? For that group, they're going to follow Negan, right? And then the group of the people, that guy who does not like him, they're going to follow Negan because he's just going to dominate them, because now he has all the people.
Right.
At the end of the day, there are going to be more people following Negan than even the Dama, and that's going to put the Dama in a very weird position.
Right. Not to mention the fact that the dude he's really in for himself, right? And I'm sure Negan knows that this guy is like, okay, yeah, he's talking about joining us and all of that, but he's still out for himself. So Negan doesn't know that. So he could probably be a problem, right? The other group with the other guy, you just need to show him who's the boss, and he looks like he's gonna follow everybody and Negan like easily. You know what I mean? So
I think Tommaso's gonna die. I think Negan's gonna kill him.
Think so?
He's gonna have to. I think it's gonna come to the risk of everyone else that he really holds dear. He's gonna have to kill him.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. I'm just, Negan's definitely gonna kill somebody. Yeah. Because
he's not gonna want to. He's not gonna want to. It's gonna be one of those things that he just like, wow, why couldn't you just listen? I'm telling you not to do these things, and you're gonna do it anyway.
Even in season 1, there was one scene where Negan was kind of like scoping around a spot, and this black dude comes in, and Negan kind of tell him, like, you don't want to do this, man. And of course, black dude does it. Negan has to kill him, right? So I think you're right. It's the same kind of situations where it's gonna be like, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna have to, because either I get blown, right, or you gotta die. So you gotta die because I'm not blowing my cover, you know. So
exactly.
So when we start off, we see them and they're having a little conversation in the car, you know, and they're talking about the Bruegel. And we already find out that the Croat in this scene can't stand him, right? The Croat hates him, but she's telling him we need our army, you know, we just got to make nice. And they get out the car and they still have this guy locked up in
the trunk, just sitting
there. Bruh. She's like, don't forget the trunk. And sure enough, we get this guy getting out there. It's like, come on, man, this guy's still traveling around, you know. So Negan sees, and I don't know what Negan's seen in this walker, which we'll get to later, but he sees a walker in the car, and I don't know if he was coming up with the plan now, because we already knows what they do in this in this town, right? They already knew they fight zombies and stuff. So I wonder if he was thinking at 2 steps ahead in this scene. But it was just weird that he
felt
actually
like he was hungry. This
What's
guy
that?
was hungry. He's hungry. So if you give him an advantage somehow, because he's stuck in the car, there's nothing else to eat.
Right.
So
Right.
he has that thirst. He is that hunger that might make him more, wanting to kill someone even more. And it would have worked. He, his thought thinking, putting oil on him and everything would have worked.
Yeah.
And it actually would have worked if he allowed it to happen.
Yeah. And we're gonna get to definitely why it kind of didn't work, which was interesting to me. And I kind of, bro, I never said it, but I kind of had an idea. I was like, you know what I mean? I kind of had an idea.
Hinting at it, they're like, yeah, how are you able to do this? He's moving too quick, a little bit too fast.
And now, because remember in the first episode, I was like, I don't like this fucking 2 zombies fighting each other. It makes no sense, right? Like, why the fuck would the 2 zombies be fighting each other? And then I seen this episode, and I'm like, okay, now it makes sense.
That's how you gather wealth. That's how you make money.
Yes. Now it makes sense, So she's talking. Oh, this is when she's talking about Negan's family. So first she says the crow.
Like, what happened then?
You know what I'm saying? I feel the same way because he's had so many opportunities. Like he's in a room where it's just the crow and her. The fuck did he just kill her?
Like if he just broke her neck, what was she gonna call on the phone? Someone's gonna call and say kill his family? There's no phone. What are you talking about? There's no way to get there before him. So like, why wouldn't he just snap her neck?
Because we'd have no show, right? So I get it. The show would be over. But I mean, it should be because I'm right there with you. The first time I was in the room with them alone, I'm snapping necks. You guys want me to lead anyways, right? So I'm gonna snap your neck. Croat, if you don't fall in line, I'm gonna snap your neck too, and that's it, right? So I get you.
Person, the strongest should survive. And if you're not the strongest, then you should shut the fuck up. And if you're gonna try to do something to me, then I'm going to hurt you.
Facts. Yeah, snap those necks, bro. Trust me. So now we get to the intro because they go to the spot there, and now we have Megan and Percy talking. So they're talking about Herschel, and Herschel is telling them that he's seen Negan. So now they're understanding, okay, so we got to talk to Negan. We don't know what Negan is up to, right? But he must know about the methane. So if he
also
knows
didn't
about the
tell
methane,
them that Negan saved his life.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And again, to me, it's to the point, like you said earlier, where the Dama promised him Negan's head. That's all I can think about it. And I think Herschel is thinking, if Negan is dead, then me and my mother can have that life we're supposed to have because she's not going to be, fixated on Negan.
Are you sure that he wants anything to do with his mother? I'm not sure.
Ooh, maybe not at this moment, but I think in the long run, I think he wants his mother. And I think he wants it to be Maggie. Now, again, I agree with you because the way he's going, it doesn't seem
like a mother figure.
100%. That could be it too, right? But it also could be a means to an end for him, knowing that I'm not going to be staying with Dama. You know what I mean? But she did promise me that I could build this world the way I want it to be as well. So yeah, there's a lot of that in there too. But I still think he wants to be with Maggie. It's just Maggie has that issue with Negan, So
what do you think about the conversation that Herschel had with Maggie? As far as, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for my kids? I said doing it for my kids. They have no idea what the world used to be like. So like for me, it's a memory that of this great thing. And for them, it's like something they never even known, never even thought about. They might rather the world not be that way. And they rather live a world that is just us, more control, more off the lands. You don't have to worry about TV or any of the other stuff because they never know. They don't know what it is. Herschel didn't know what a damn fire alarm was.
Facts. And I'm glad that you brought that up too, because even in that scene, I was like, Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? The adults are living in the past. They're living in this world that they want to bring back. You know what I mean? Which wasn't, we live in it now. So it ain't the greatest world, right? But this is
Mhm.
what they want. Now you have these kids who have never experienced that world. Like their life has been zombies, you know what I mean? And the world they live in now. So to them, it's like, well, why do we need to go to the back to the past when we can build a future? So yeah, and I
It's
think
funny.
that's where the Dharma is getting him.
Exactly. She knows that, and she's utilizing that to grab
Yeah,
these kids that are the new generation. So
yeah,
she's old. She understands the new generation doesn't have any connection to the old world. They don't care about
yes,
the old world. They just want freedom.
yes,
Yeah, freedom to
yes,
do what he wants and remake the world the way they see fit. That's all
absolutely.
most people really want, and
Hmm.
that's why he's just grabbing Herschel. And that's how she's probably getting more people like that way, because we don't care about it being the same way. We're gonna do it totally different.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, and she's of the mindset of not going back either, right? She doesn't want to go back to that world either. So she understands giving it to the kids to build up the children are the future. You know what I mean? And I think
Mhm.
that's where she's going off of with that. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that was a great conversation too, because it made a lot of sense to me. Definitely made a lot of sense to me. So now we get Negan and the rest of the crew. There's a couple of black dudes here. I didn't even notice that.
Yep,
Huh,
I did.
interesting.
I was like, oh, you see on TV, like, oh, I see you.
Some red shirts over there. They're gonna die soon. You
We
know what I
survived the
mean?
apocalypse. That's why we know. We know.
Yeah, bro. Like we'd be the one surviving in this thing. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah, we'd be the ones surviving. These white people would be running upstairs and shit and get stuck on a roof. You know what I mean? Hear a noise and want to go
I
check
say,
it
let's
and
go
see what
see
the
it.
fuck it is. What is
Exactly.
that? What is that?
We're
It'd
gonna
be
see the
like
Walking Dead universe and see there's like communities of black people that don't do nothing. Like, we don't need
niggas be
this
like
shit.
facts. Niggas be like, what was that? Did you hear that? Boom, God. You know what I mean? Ain't no checking nothing now. Could be a squirrel. You know what I mean? We'll laugh about it later. Oh, bro, we
It's-
ran from a squirrel.
don't
Is what
matter,
it
but
is.
we're laughing at it. We're able to live
We're alive, exactly.
this entire episode.
Hmm.
The
Absolutely.
first, the way they looked at each other, the information they gave him, that told him everything he needed to know.
Hmm.
And you don't
Exactly.
even realize it, but you still tell them, talking to them.
Exactly. And that's where it is, because you could tell right away, right? Coad taking the lead, he's having the conversation, and we already know he's emotional, don't like this guy, right?
Yep.
You know, so they're having a conversation. Now, so yeah, you're right. Negan was like, you got a big dude over there, and you know what I mean? Like,
The other time he talks about that at dinner, he talks about, I had to get a bodyguard.
mm-hmm.
And he kind of said that. And I feel like he was telling everybody, and no one's listening. He's
Yeah,
telling them
yeah.
what's going on, and no one's paying attention to it.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. You know what I mean? Even I didn't catch it at first. You know what I mean? I didn't catch it at first. And even because, and I know it passed through, but at the beginning, he's talking about the lights and he wants the power and everything going back on. And then he gives food to the zombie. But when you notice, he says, you're hungry, and it starts to eat, it had the zombie sound, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like it really was a zombie. So I'm trying to, I know he wasn't bitten because he would have turned strictly to a zombie. So is he's just pretending to be a zombie or whatever? But it's just weird to me that they would play that sound on there too, So it's curious. But yeah, so we get them, Herschel, Percy, and Maggie. They're walking, they're talking about the museum, and that's when he says, "What's the fire alarm?" you
Pulling
know,
a common ring, and yeah.
and then pretty much talking about the food they want and singing the Kit Kat bar song.
Mhm.
This was a good conversation though, but
This is what Herschel says. Yeah,
yeah,
all the stuff in the new world, the old world that you're trying to bring up.
Try to bring it
right
on
here,
each other for resources. Do what was so great.
right here. Kind of right with that though.
He's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it seems like everybody, like you said, has been trying to bring back this new world. And not only are they trying to bring back this old world, right? They want to be the leaders of this old world, right? So it's not just about, living. These guys, Negan wanted to run everything, right? The season 2 with the freaking the eye patch guy. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
He wanted to lead too, right? He wanted to be a leader too. So every time we've come across a group, it's always they want to be the dominant group. So he's kind of right. Everybody's going to be fighting for the power and what resources are left. So I kind of understand where he's coming from in this situation, especially if that's all he knows, So
everyone thinks everyone thinks that they're doing it right. Everyone wants the power, and that's why they're still fighting over it because of this idea of the old world. But we don't realize the old world wasn't that good in the first place.
Facts, 100%. And to Percy's point, I mean, it is and it isn't. You know what I mean? Like they've had some good things and stuff like that. So I get it. But at the same time, and a lot of these kids, like younger, they want to look forward to the future, not to the back, right? Not to the past. So I think that's where Herschel's coming from. I think we're getting more of an understanding of Herschel's thinking, but you also have to question how much of that thinking is really him or how much of that thinking is Dama in his mind, right? Because for the longest time, his issue was always with Maggie and her obsession with Negan. But now it seems like he's flipping the script and he just wants a different world. He doesn't want to go back to it. So I'm thinking that the Dharma had a lot of influence on his decisions.
I think she promised him a new world and he can be a leader in that new world, bringing it to something that's totally different than what he sees right now. And all he sees right now is the death and the fighting. And we talk about the zombies being the problem, but really it's the people that are the problem. And I think that's the whole theme of The Walking Dead.
Facts. I still think she gave him some head too. You know what I mean? You got his first taste of some of that and was like, oh, yes, I'll do whatever you say. So anyways, we get back to the conversation at hand where they're having dinner. And this is where he decides he wants to. So first off, they're eating the rats, which is kind of disgusting. But they're watching the show. And I think Croat was kind of jealous too because he's seen Dharma clapping and look like she's having a good time. And, like, you're a fool. I don't understand why nobody sees it other than me. So he's going to say what he has to say here.
Is it steak?
It's just really interesting that she's there to kill Negan, who was taking care of her. That's really interesting. That's some Gamora Thanos shit.
But then again, Negan did kill her father too, and I can't remember why he did it. I'd have to go back and watch season 1 to talk about why he's doing it. Yeah, I can't remember either. But yeah, so all the time we were sitting here thinking that Herschel wanted Negan dead, but it seems like she wants to kill Negan. And what if she's the cause of maybe someone like one of Negan's family dying, like his wife or his son, right? What if she's the one that does it? Because now I'm like, I could see Herschel wanting to do it too, but it seems like to me Herschel is stepping away from that kind of wanting to build a new world, and she's the one that wants to get revenge on Negan.
You know what's so interesting though, is because Negan told Jenny they killed her father. We never saw that.
No, we didn't. He could have been lying too.
Yeah, so if he's lying and she's mad at him for a lie, just because he wanted to push her away,
right? Yeah,
severing that bond that they were having, that would be really interesting.
Interesting. What's up all about Crystals? Crystal said, I think Negan killed her dad because he was one of the 5 people who attacked his wife. Oh, okay, I got you. I think that makes sense. I know they did talk about it, right? And yeah, go ahead, Brent.
I don't think he did something to it. Had something to do with Annie. You're right. He told her that, but I don't remember seeing it. But I do remember that they did attack Annie.
Yeah, yeah. They never actually showed it, right? Negan killing him, so it definitely could be that. Interesting though. So that's the case. It's possible that maybe he can talk to him and be like, "Listen, I did. First off, I didn't know you was your father at the time, and they were trying to kill my wife and my child. You know what I mean? My unborn child. So that could be definitely interesting." So they have a conversation, and so Negan offers up a battle. But you see, that's the thing, right? Again, you can see Negan's kind of, I don't know, feel like a Rick kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Old
Yep,
Negan would have picked up his new seal and would have bust someone's head open and be like, no, this is what we're doing it. But now he's thinking with his head, right?
exactly. He's making a great decision, and I think he would have won. I really
Yeah,
believe he would have won.
me too, 100%. So they say, okay, we'll take your offer. Then we have Negan, I'm sorry, Maggie and Percy, they're talking again. He's telling them about the the story that she told earlier, and she's asking, finally now she's asking, what do you remember? And to Herschel, and again, that's the thing, right? I'll remember something totally different than Brian will. So he remembers it, but he remembers Maggie being depressed and crying, and he did not like that. Like she was always sad, you know?
She fantasized all this other stuff, and he's like, first of all, you say I was 5 or 6, and I was like 8. You know,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
I was able to see you understand that you're crying and depressed. I was there trying to get the firefly for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire thing that you're trying to hold over my head is before you.
Absolutely. Now, knowing all of this stuff about Herschel, change your thought about him?
No, I still say fuck Herschel, but I understand why she messed him up. You know, she messed him up, but come on, man. You're making the bad decisions over back and forth all the time. So whatever.
100%. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I'm still, even though I see where Herschel is coming from a certain degree, but at the same time, dude, you're still fucking up, bro.
Exactly.
You're one of them stupid little kids. You know what I mean? So he sees Negan. Negan is going to get the zombie. And that's when they say, okay, so we're gonna have to get to Negan. Herschel says he's gonna cause a distraction. And then Maggie says, well, I know how to get his attention, but I'm not going to like it. So when you saw that scene, did you know at that point that Herschel was gonna end up meeting up with Dharma?
100% with Dharma. Yeah, I 100%. He was gonna go do his own thing. That's the distraction he does. And no one even questions like, how did he get back across? If Maggie had to like die between all these posts, he was able just to walk off and just do whatever he want. Come on, man.
Facts, 100%. So we get back to Negan. Negan has a zombie, puts the little mask on him. He's asking, are you sure about this? And we're telling him, so you can do all the armor you want. You can put armor all over them. Just the back of the head needs to be exposed. Croat now is questioning Negan again on this situation. And he's like, listen, it's not good to wager, you know what I mean, this on because if they lose, they got to give it up. They got to give up the methane, and he doesn't want to do that, you know? So you got the rules to the competition where it's no physical contact at any time, right? So the people on the outside can't have any physical contact, but they can kind of manipulate certain things, as you'll see. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So then it's funny too, because for a second I was like, when I first watched it, like, oh, the Croat kind of did that, because I kind of missed the Herschel telling you to create the distraction. Then I realized, oh, it's Herschel that did it. Okay, so Herschel kind of
create a distraction. Well, Bruegel said it's 200 years old.
Yeah,
when I put this in 1976.
Yeah. It's an old painting, that's for sure. I mean,
but I was saying it would only be 1976 instead of what I thought this was by 2000 by now.
Oh, they're definitely in the 2000 by now. I think they're current time.
So yeah, but that would be 250 years.
Yeah.
I was wondering why we don't say 200. little things, timing, and
Interesting.
understand what it is. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. I think maybe it's just like, oh, it's over 200 years old type of thing, you know what I mean, or something like that. Like, yeah, but I got what you're saying. So now Negan hears the whistle and he decides he's going to go take a
Go to the
pee.
little boy's room.
She's okay. Now, hold on. Let me play this real quick.
No one else heard it.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. That's what I said. I was like, wait a minute. No one else heard that whistle? Maybe they didn't know what it was, but nobody else
heard something. Y'all live in this damn world. Y'all white. Y'all know y'all can go check it out.
Absolute facts. And then she's like, oh, where are you going? Well, motherfucker, I just heard a whistle. So now you want to leave? You know what I mean? It just, that part was kind of weird to me. Like, she should have found a better way to get to Negan because everybody else could have heard that. Like, I would have heard
everyone else should have heard that.
Yeah, 100%. At least the Dharma could have, because she was standing right next to him. The rest of them probably trying to put out the fire or whatever. You know what I mean? But the Dharma was standing right there. She should have at least heard that. And then we get to the conversation where Negan finally meets up with Maggie, and we talked about this at the beginning of the stream, which is definitely was a good conversation. It was the best part of this show because it showed us a lot. Not to mention the fact that, you know, Percy comes jumping out of there trying to put his 2 cents in there.
Curly, everyone was like, "Yeah, I don't give fucks about what you say." I'm gonna go talk to her. Fuck you.
Facts. So even though Negan says he can't,
Who?
So Negan pretty much tells him, and I think Negan didn't just tell him, I know that that's not a zombie, but like, just chill, do this, you'll get your time. Something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's, go ahead.
What do I think he said? I think he probably told him, hey, I know the truth. You don't want me to reveal this truth. I need you to go out there and tell them that you're going to join us without any other problems. You do it now.
Oh, no, I agree with you too. Yeah, 100%. I agree with Negan has that, but I also think Negan kind of gave him well, not really, because he says he has more moves towards the end. So
because he already had that plan since once the Croat told him about what else is out there.
Yeah, 100%. So you're right. So he decides, he says, you know what? I'm willing to join your alliance and
give it up.
No addendum, right? Everything is going to be fine. We will do what you got to do. And Croat's kind of like, what did Negan say that? Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Now, the Dharma is happy. She's clapping. She's like, great job. But I think Croat is starting to question Negan a little bit.
He has to remember how Negan, it was his role model. You know, he was enamored with him. He just doesn't like when the shoes on the other foot.
So what if you think, because we talked earlier about Negan trying to turn the Dharma, turn the Croat on the Dharma. What if Negan's trying to turn the Dharma on the Croat?
I think that was a natural thing. I think he's still playing with the Croat because he feels like he could fight. He could play with the Croat and even use him, manipulate him. He can't do it with the Dharma enough, you know, so because he doesn't know who she is. So keep your friends close, but the person who knows him the most, he's gonna keep him closer.
I agree with that too, but I'm also thinking because the Croat is the only threat that the Dharma has. So you get rid of that threat and you have to depend everything on me now. You know what I mean?
She could also just turn to one of these other guys that she's known more or longer.
Yeah, but the way we've seen it, I don't think there's anybody out there that, like the way the show is going now, they haven't showed really anybody else in the group. Like I think that like
she could turn anybody like the Bruegel.
Okay.
I'm a skull or that, you know, use them.
But she I don't think she trusts them enough. You know what I mean? I don't think she trusts them enough. But
give them all the power, give them all the lights, give them all the electricity.
I definitely do think that there is a tension that Negan's trying to build there. Either way, whichever one you think, but I agree with you. He's definitely trying to build the tension. So they rendezvous back on the Reed, and they're wondering why Herschel is.
I mean, he's gonna sit there and let him do that? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, no. He said, "I think you're right." Oh, what do you think I'm right about? All about crystals? What do you think I'm right about?
The whole what Negan's motivation is with the Croat. I think this.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I hope so. I think it's going to be interesting to see, right? Because again, it seems like Negan again two steps ahead of everybody, and he may just be playing both sides. You know what I mean? He may be just okay. I'm going to tell the Dharma. I'm going to make her think that I am the man, and I'm going to show the Croat that the Dharma doesn't really respect you. You know what I mean? So he could definitely be playing both sides.
But keep the Croat on his side, saying, "Hey, we need to position ourselves. Let me do what I'm doing, but I'm positioning us, so we can do a hostile takeover."
And for him to do that, he has to show the Croat that the Dharma has no respect for him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could definitely see that. So the blood spatters, and he says,
"A really good tip today. Can't say the odds are great, but hey, you know, they say not a moves just yet."
So when he says, "I got a really good tip today," that's why I feel like Negan told him something other than "I know about your boy." You know what I mean? Because that's the only other tip that he could have gotten that day is something from Negan when Negan whispered in his ear.
You're right, but also could have. Well, no, that actually makes a lot of sense now. The more I think about it, he could have said that, but I also thought that what the Croat told him at the beginning, like we didn't handle it handled itself, and Negan
that
said,
could be it.
You know, he knows now. He knows a little bit from what he's seen, and knowing that that there's more in there could be enough of a tip for himself. I don't know if Negan will give up. Knowing that they're positioning because he knows Maggie. Though Maggie's there, I still think he worries about the other people. If he thinks he's there or any of that stuff. So I don't know if he would have given them that location.
I agree. I don't think he gave him the location, but I think he told him maybe like your time will come type of thing. You know what I mean? Because I think Negan is more concerned because nobody else is forcing Negan to do the shit that he's doing other than the Croat and the Dharma. So that's where his shit is. I don't give a fuck about you guys. You know what I mean? But don't worry. I'm going to take care of this situation and then you'll get your lights or something like that. You know what I mean? And but again, to that point too, where he says, "I still not out of moves," shows me that even though Negan might have said something, he's still looking out for himself. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Negan said this, well, I'm going to do this and double cross Negan at the same time. So I think that's kind of a little bit where I'm getting with that. But yeah, I agree with you. It's either one of the two things. It's either, like I said, he gave him a little hint there of something, and it was what you said about shit.
What if the Crow? What if the Dharma? What if the Dharma told him, "Hey, if you go get those people in that thing, I'll give you the methane." Maybe what if she's making plans behind the Croat and Negan's back?
Oh, I 100% do believe because she needs leverage, right? So if Negan doesn't do anything, just telling Negan that she knows where the family is,
eventually it's going to run low. It's going to go to a
right.
Point like, I don't give two.
Right. Prove it. You know what I mean? If you have my family, prove it. Something kind of like that. So you're right. She may be behind the scenes saying, because who does she have following Negan's family if that's the case? Right. And then, so yeah, I agree with you. I think there's a little bit more to that. Like we're gonna find out that she's not stupid, right? She's definitely not a stupid woman. So even though Negan is trying to think 2 steps ahead, I think she may be like maybe 1 step back. You know what I mean? Like she's not like Croat where he's like 2-3 steps behind Negan. She's probably like just 1 step behind Negan type of thing. You know what I mean?
Even ahead of him.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to figure it out as he goes, but he's very nimble with his actions. He's able to change venues quickly. He always puts himself in a better position.
Absolutely. To where it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Maybe she's like one step ahead of Negan. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes, I could definitely, and she would have to be at least on the same level or ahead of him to make her be a great villain, like someone that can challenge Negan, right? Because if Negan's always two steps ahead of everybody,
Then what's the
then
point?
yeah, exactly. Sooner or later, he's just going to get the best of them. So, and I think if we're going to have two more seasons of this show, then yeah, there's definitely going to be, you know what I mean? It's not all going to be all cakes and hot cakes for Negan, for sure. So, and then that's when the episode ends. So, first off, before we get into the trailer next episode, Brian, what did you think about this episode? What grade?
It was a very interesting episode. I got a lot of things I had questions about. They answered them in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was gonna give it a letter grade, I'm gonna give this A-.
Nice, absolutely. I'm gonna go with the A again, A+ again, because I so far I in line. There's not an episode I haven't really liked. Some are better than others, but they're still up there with me. You know what I mean? So I'm really enjoying this show, and I look forward to watching it when it comes on and coming here and discussing with you guys. Now, what we're gonna do real quick is we are going to get to the trailer for next week. Let's check it out.
Use him as backup, not trust.
Yeah.
Negan saying, "I'm all you got." She's like, "No, you ain't all I got."
Yeah, Brian, I like that. Yes, yes, yes. When I see that, he said,
Might have came
and
from the Dama.
yes,
No, he couldn't figure it out. So I need some backup. You really want this? I could give it to you. You just have to do certain things for me.
absolutely. All About Crystal said, an A for me too. Yeah, so we're on the same levels with this show, man. You know, and I say it all the time. A lot of people fell off of The Walking Dead, but when it comes to Dead City, I think it's one of the best spin-offs that we have out there. And people are sleeping on it. Don't sleep on this show. So it's fire. But I agree with you, bro, Brian. There was a lot in that trailer that kind of showed me, like, yeah, you know, there's something brewing in the background. And it's the reason why I think Negan tells her that I'm all you got. Something might happen with the Croat. You know what I mean? Like there might be a situation there. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but it's going to be to the point where, like, listen, I am all you have. And she's like, no, Negan, you're not. I'm a little bit ahead of you. You know what I mean? Again,
I've been
that's where we
playing
get.
this takeover for a long time.
Yeah.
We have to stay together. I could control him. I couldn't control the others, so I gave them a job. And then you say, "Sorry, we late to the party."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's funny because she's so concerned about, you know, getting the other group and all these, but there's like fucking 10 people from Babylon, if that. You know what I mean? Like it's a small group, so it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be hard for them to take over. But that scene where they're all being held kind of reminds me of this scene when Negan killed Glenn.
And remember, I told you at Bruegel, I think he's gonna die.
Yeah. Next episode. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I agree. I agree with you too. I agree. I think he's gonna die too. He's gonna be the guinea pig, you know, and they're gonna get out of that situation, obviously. So it's just good to see. Maybe. Nah. I was gonna say maybe that situation happens before Negan and the Dharma have that talk, which would kind of make sense as to why he would say, "You're all I have," because it doesn't go the way it was supposed to go. You know what I mean? But then again, at the same time, when she says, "No, there's someone else," it's probably him. So it's going to be interesting to see where that all fits in for that episode.
I was even thinking, what if right then, instead of Jenny going after him, Jenny kills Bruegel?
Maybe. Because again, I'm still not 100% convinced that Jenny is actually trying to kill Negan.
I know.
I'm not convinced of that yet, right? She could have just been saying that to get that girl off of her back because she knows everybody right now hates Negan, wants Negan. You know what I mean? So she could definitely be playing a role on that one too. So it's going to be interesting to find out what's going on there. But guys, thank you all for popping in. Much appreciated. All About Crystals. I appreciate you coming in. We will be back next week with another episode of this for sure. And I will be doing I said I was going to do it last week and I didn't, but I'll probably do the watch party for this episode.
Sunday.
Yeah, most likely Sunday, seeing as that I don't have to do Last of Us anymore. So yeah, I think we could do it on Sunday. It could probably take the Last of Us spotter an hour early because I want to watch it before it drops on TV. So
yep,
I'll reach out to you, Brian, let you know. Shout out your channel one more time. Tell the people where they can find you.
1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, talking about shows like this. But for Dead City, I do this with Nzo because these are some banger shows too. I like watching everything. I'm actually watching something as we're talking right now.
You see that? Look, I can't even get his full attention on the stream, guys. Like, he really got to be watching. Am I boring you that much that you got to be watching other stuff while we streaming, homie?
I watch things that we talk about. I told you I had to catch up on Walking Dead, so I've been catching up on Dead City season 1 while we're talking about Dead City season 2.
Absolutely. I'm just playing around though. But yeah, Brian's always, like, not too many people really want to talk about The Walking Dead. So that's Brian. I'm like, just watch the episode. If you like it, then we'll do it. He watched it and he liked it. So yeah, that's why we're doing this, man. And it's always fun. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys and talk about this show and other shows that we like. Now, their description for the Spoiler Kings is in the chat. So give them a sub, sign over there. You will enjoy the content. I can guarantee you on that. Guarantee you.
You drive the content as much as you want. If you want to tell us to do something, we'll do it.
Absolutely, 100%. So make sure you go over there and give these guys some love too as well. Thank you everybody for popping in. Much appreciated. We will be back on Sunday and then back again next week to do this other episode. I think I'm going to stick to Friday for it. So we'll do it on next
Friday's a good day.
Yeah, I think Friday is good too. All right. So, guys, thank you very much. Peace, love, and hair grease, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.
I am inevitable.